Carlisle has now distanced herself and effectively thrown Henyard under the bus, exposing the full extent of the deception she claims to have witnessed while working under Tiffany Henyard.
You could feel the anger tonight at a Board of Trustees meeting in Thornton Township. The board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances, while the township supervisor...
I am a wife. I'm a mother of 3 children. My children and my family are suffering because of this loss. And Dalton Police, the detectives, have been sitting around twiddling their fingers on this case.
You out of order, Clerky. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop.
While this mess with Tiffany Henyard just got even worse. Word on the street is she might actually go to jail after the FBI uncovered a mountain of evidence showing she's been using hard-working taxpayers' money to fund her lavish lifestyle. Not only that, but a whistleblower from her own team has come forward slamming her as a thief and exposing how she managed to embezzle all this money without getting caught. This all comes after Tiffany was caught stealing funds from the village of Dalton for her own personal use and racking up millions of dollars in credit card debt. I mean, we've heard of corrupt mayors before, but this is undoubtedly one of the worst in history. The people of Dalton don't plan on letting her get away without making a very brutal example of her. Tiffany and her team initially tried to do some damage control by recruiting journalists to pass the whole thing off as fake news, but the former mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, who's in charge of the investigation, wasn't having it at all. She came out to set the record straight, confirming that this was very real and that Tiffany was out here living like Beyoncé while racking up millions of dollars in debt, all while the people of Dalton continue to struggle. She said, "If you hear this is fake news, it's not, it's real. This is real. Receipts for credit card purchases are really provided."
I'm a mother of 3 children. My children and my family are suffering because of this loss. And Dalton Police, the detectives, have been sitting around twiddling their fingers on this case. This is hurtful. When I've been in contact, I've been asking questions. I've been in contact with the state's attorney's office. I'm pushing this case. I've had the Crime Stoppers come out to do additional work canvassing the neighborhood to assist the police, and nothing has been.
Now, just to give you a little context before we dive into the very messy details of this story, it all started back in March of this year when the village leaders and trustees of Dalton called for a meeting to investigate the misconduct of their mayor, Tiffany Henyard, and her misuse of public funds. During one of these meetings, one of the trustees, Norwood, revealed that they had asked Tiffany to provide them with some financial records, but she refused. That's when they decided to take things to the next level, hiring the former mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, to step in and investigate this entire mess. The last time received the bank statement was in September of last year, and we were $7 million in debt at the time, Norwood said. So with this current moment, we're saying, hey, where are the bank statements so we can know where we are? It's a problem for us all when we can't see our tax dollars, when we can't see them and how they're being spent, fine dining and all of this travel. And we're saying, hey, why are we going to these places? What's happening here? Things got even shadier when Tiffany was hit with multiple lawsuits from her ex-employees who claimed she fired them without cause. One of them even went as far as to accuse a trustee who worked closely with Tiffany of sexual assault. And get this, the victim of this assault said she told Tiffany about the situation, but Tiffany allegedly told her to stay quiet and not tell anyone because it could ruin all the work she had done. What's even crazier is that before this entire investigation blew up to the scale it's at now, a lot of people had already started to notice her shady behavior and tried to look into it. But Tiffany used her power to shut them down, preventing anyone from digging up any evidence against her.
When she arrived at work this morning, something strange happened.
This was your office?
Yes.
What happened when you tried to open it?
It doesn't work.
Not only had Elston been locked out of her own office, but boxes of sensitive documents that she kept in her office were spread around the common area.
This was under lock and key before.
This was under lock and key.
And now it's just out in the open.
Now it's just out in the open. So it has the taxpayer's name, address.
So who did this to you?
Well, I imagine this new supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Brian and Natalie, it is very clear that the trustees in Thornton Township have trust issues, refusing to second a motion by Tiffany Henyard to get routine township bills paid.
This woman was truly living like a Hollywood celebrity, spending taxpayers' money like it was her own personal ATM, all while giving nothing back to the community. She came in with one goal: to steal and destroy.
To put some safeguards in place to regulate what's spent on the credit card.
I do not want a credit card. I do not deal with money.
Earlier this month, former Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed the village of Dalton, where Henyard also serves as the mayor, racked up hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card purchases after Henyard's critics walked out Wednesday.
Corruption in Tiffany's administration got so bad that people even demanded she and other officials step down. But of course, she refused and kept stealing that money. What's even worse is that, despite all the evidence uncovered in this investigation and her blatant corruption over the years, Tiffany is still actively trying to paint herself as the victim. She's even calling out the media for focusing on the negative aspects of her administration instead of highlighting the positive stuff. I mean, you really can't make this up, she said. It's good to see the media out here, but I wish you guys would come for the positive things and not the chaos and not the media show, because that's here. I get it. We're clickbait. We're hot right now. And I get it. This is what sells papers, but I wish you guys would have come to our Easter event that we had on Sunday. We had over 500 kids out there happy running around giving away baskets. It was amazing. But baby, the FBI doesn't care about all that fake positivity image she's trying to force on us, because they are on her case, digging into everything she's been up to, including the restaurant she owns and some allegations about her scamming people. Apparently, she's been getting donations for her so-called foundation, only to use the money for her own personal gain. Turns out Tiffany's supposed charity foundation isn't even registered with the Attorney General's office, and they sent her a cease and desist to stop collecting funds. But of course, she ignored them and kept raking in thousands of dollars in the name of charity. According to the New York Post, Tiffany was hit with 2 subpoenas. In the first subpoena, feds are seeking personnel files, wage and tax documents, time and attendance records, contracts, and checks written to cash from Henyard's multiple endeavors, a restaurant she owns, a property management company she runs, her political action committee, and a charity in her name. Now, in the second subpoena, they're seeking financial documents of the township like budgets, payroll records, and ordinances covering credit card purchases, expense reports, and reimbursements, secure details and use of vehicles. And baby, they found a whole lot of incriminating evidence in the investigation led by Lori Lightfoot. They discovered that Tiffany's trifling self spent over $43,000 on Amazon in one single day, over $7,000 out Wayfair, and $2,200 at Best Buy. Not only that, but it was revealed she spent $2,987 just in the past year on trips alone. Oh, but unfortunately, it gets worse. Lori's investigation also uncovered that the village of Dalton owes over $6 million in village vendors while only having $3.6 million spending deficit. Well, it turns out that Tiffany had used the funds to pay 2 police officers overtime, increasing its spending on the police department from $7.7 million in 2022 to $9.2 million by 2024. Child, I'm not even exaggerating when I say Tiffany was living like the President of the United States. Like, who in the hell spends over $43,000 on Amazon in a single day and over $9.2 million on security for a small town like Dalton? Not even the mayors of big cities are spending this much. But Tiffany wants us to believe she genuinely needs to blow all this money to get things done? You cannot make this up. Now, fortunately for everyone, the wall that has been protecting Tiffany for so long and keeping her out of jail is starting to crumble. Someone from her team, named Carmen Carlisle, just betrayed her and spilled the tea about how Tiffany has been able to embezzle all this money for so long without getting caught. In a statement to WGN, Carmen said, "Today I'm breaking my silence and speaking out against Thoron Township Supervisor and Mayor of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard, who I believe has engaged in unethical and predatory behavior throughout her tenure for the past 2 years. Henyard has manipulated employees, vendors, and residents using her position to increase her influence, all while projecting a false image of success funded by the hardworking taxpayers of Thoron Township and the village of Dalton. I'm standing up, not just for myself, but for others who have been affected by what I see as Henyard leadership." Carlisle's statement said, "I believe there are many more victims who have been retaliated against, fired, or lied to by Henyard but have yet to speak out. And guys, there's more." Now, Carlisle claims that Tiffany manipulated her for years, even pressuring her to falsely state that the mayor had no involvement in establishing the controversial Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. Carlisle also alleged that when she refused to comply, it led to her decision to expose Henyard's actions. In a powerful move, Carlisle has now distanced herself, but she's effectively thrown Henyard under the bus, under the semi and the train, revealing the depths of deception that she says she witnessed while serving under Tiffany Henyard. As we all can see, Tiffany's own people are starting to feel the pressure, and they're already throwing her under the bus. It looks like Tiffany is also beginning to panic about the entire situation because she actually responded to Carmen's claims and she wasn't too nice about it. She called Carmen some real nasty names and claimed that Carmen was just trying to lie to save herself. She said, "I think I'm going to get you a new nickname, Lion Carlisle. I'm tired of everyone in here. There always has to be a show at the end of the day. You was on board. We never talked about this, right? So you should have been putting the same energy in play when you weren't saying a word a year ago, some months ago." With the way things are going, it won't be too long before the police come knocking on Tiffany's door and put her in handcuffs. Her own team is already selling her out, and she's out here talking crazy, trying to gaslight them into staying silent about her corrupt behavior. As usual, people have their own thoughts about this, like this person who said they need to freeze Tiffany's accounts and the overtime cops' accounts until this is all sorted out so they can't hide all the stolen money. Another person said she needs to be removed from office by force and arrested. But now I want to hear your thoughts. What do why all think about Tiffany being investigated? Do you think her team members and the trustees are going to follow Carmen's lead and expose her? Why all know what to do? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.